Okay, so autumn. We all see it happen every year, right? The leaves just burst into these incredible colors. Yellows, oranges, deep reds.
Yeah, it's a classic sign of the season changing. Beautiful stuff.
And, the science lesson we all got was pretty straightforward. Chlorophyll breaks down because there's less sun, it gets cooler.
Right. Photosynthesis slows right down.
Exactly. And then those other pigments, the yellows and oranges, carotenoids, right?
Mhm.
They were there all along. They just get revealed. And the reds, the anthocyanins, sometimes get produced.
That's the standard textbook explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's framed as this sort of seasonal biological process.
But I always find myself looking at them and thinking, is that really all there is to it? Just chemistry? Or could nature be, I don't know, sending a message?
That's a really interesting way to put it, because it is kind of strange, isn't it?
How so?
Well, just think about the timing. These leaves are essentially at the end of their useful life for the tree.
Yeah.
But instead of just fading quietly, they often put on this incredibly vibrant display, sometimes brighter than they ever were when they were green and, working hard.
Yeah. It seems counterintuitive from a pure survival angle. Like, why get more noticeable right before you die?
Precisely. What's the advantage for the leaf itself? It makes you wonder if it's purely about pigment breakdown, or if that burst of color serves some other function, maybe a signal.
Exactly. It feels deliberate somehow. And it's fascinating when you look back historically, different cultures didn't always see autumn as just an ending or decay.
That's true. Many ancient views saw it more as a transformation, a kind of letting go of the unnecessary.
Yeah, shedding the old. And those red leaves especially, they often had deep symbolic meaning, didn't they? Sacrifice, surrender, sometimes even renewal.
Absolutely. Across various spiritual traditions, you even mentioned the Islamic perspective, the idea that all of nature is constantly praising its creator. Could this spectacular change be sort of part of that praise, the final flourish?
It's a powerful thought. And it contrasts so much with how we sometimes frame it scientifically today, doesn't it? Like focusing on it as just waste breakdown or nutrient recovery.
Right. Science looks at the mechanics, the tree pulling back nitrogen and phosphorus, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is happening, of course. But those older views, they suggest maybe it's also, well, maybe wisdom release is a better term than waste breakdown.
I like that. Wisdom release, it speaks to acceptance, maybe. The tree isn't fighting winter, it's preparing gracefully.
Exactly. It's accepting change. Maybe the real message isn't just in the colors themselves, but in the whole act of changing, of letting go so beautifully.
And there might even be some practical science catching up to that beauty, right? Didn't you mention something about the red pigments?
Yeah, there's some research suggesting those anthocyanins, the reds and purples, might actually offer some protection, like sunscreen for the leaf as it's breaking down its chlorophyll.
Oh.
Or maybe even making the leaf less appealing to certain pests or diseases during that vulnerable phase. So the beauty could have a function tied into that efficient nutrient recovery.
Huh. So even the science points towards something more complex than just fading away.
It seems that way. It adds another layer to it.
So circling back then, are the leaves just changing color because of less light and colder days? Or is there maybe a deeper lesson here for us?
I think it really prompts that question, doesn't it? It feels like more than just pigment chemistry when you witness it.
Yeah. It definitely feels like a reminder that endings, well, they don't have to be drab or sad. They can actually be quite beautiful.
A kind of vibrant farewell. There's a real elegance to it before everything goes bare for winter.
And maybe, just maybe, our own truest colors, who we really are deep down, maybe they only really show when it's time for us to let go of something too.
That's a profound takeaway. It certainly gives you something to think about.
Which leads us to a final thought for you listening.
Yeah. Next time you're out this autumn and you see those leaves turning, maybe pause for a second. Look past the standard explanation we all know.
And just wonder, what else might nature be telling you through that incredible, colorful transformation? What's the deeper message?